Guardians of Metal Entertainment Worldwide. I'm here with Ben with Goatwhore. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Good. So you're kicking off the tour. The next stop you're doing with 3 Inches of Blood.
Yeah. Actually, we've been out for 2 weeks. We were out in like Texas, going to the west, up the west coast with the Casualties.
Right.
So, and then tomorrow we connect with 3 Inches of Blood for 5 weeks.
So now you guys are pretty close friends?
Yeah. We've done a couple of tours together and
everything. How'd you guys meet, and how'd you guys come up with this sort of tour that you're on right now?
We actually really, like, I've met a couple of guys throughout the years here and there, you know, just around with shows and everything.
Yeah.
And like off and on, and then we did a tour together across Canada. I guess it was like 2-3 years ago or something like that. And then we did a European tour together, and we just, you know, after you do like a tour together with any band, you immediately like kind of blend together.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, keep in touch, become really good friends and stuff, and share, you know, music ideals and things like that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we've always just been talking about doing another tour here and there, and so we kind of worked it out and everything, and do another tour around, like through Canada, through the States and everything like that. So we kind of sorted this out.
And so far the tour is going pretty good?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like the shows with the Casualties, that's definitely a different experience because they're more like a kind of extreme punk band.
Yeah.
But their audience, you know, I think nowadays too with extreme music, the audiences kind of blend a little more, and they're more accustomed to like having a kind of a metal band involved and things like that. And the guys in the Casualties are fucking awesome, man. And it was actually, it went by so fast. It was like last night we were in Seattle and it was the last show, and it was like, holy shit, it just flew by. 2 weeks just went by. But you know, hopefully we can do something more with them in the future and everything like that.
So Blood for the Master, that was your last release in 2012?
Yeah, it was February 2012.
Are you guys looking at doing a new album?
We're working on new material, actually. We before we started this tour, we had done South by Southwest in Austin. We did a couple of shows, and so leading up to leaving for this tour was about a week and a half or so. And so we started kind of putting together ideas and everything, and kind of molding things like that towards the new record.
So a lot of critics have said that your last album had like a bit more grooves, more melody to it compared to your last album. So going into the new album, are you gonna incorporate more of the black metal stuff, or?
You know, I think with bands, you know, it's hard to determine what's going to happen because the way influences fall and the things that you're into at certain points when you're writing. You know, I do believe like everything Goatwhore's done is kind of like unfolded in a mature way of the evolution process of what Goatwhore's going through. So I think everything kind of sits how it should be, you know, accordingly to whatever was going on at certain times, whatever influences, personal things and stuff like that. So it's hard to really say like, this is what we're going to do, because we kind of write for stuff that we really enjoy ourselves. So when we put things together like that, it's like, you know, we'll write a whole song, but then we'll tear it apart and not be into it, and just use certain sections of it. So it all has to feel right for everybody. So it's this whole like process and everything. And I think, you know, like when we first started, you can really hear like, you know, like the Celtic Frost, the Venom, totally, completely, like in the early stages. But I think we've kind of evolved into our own kind of element at this point. So people having a good time, man.
So you have some of your influences are Celtic Frost and
well, Celtic Frost is definitely a huge Venom and Bathory.
Motorhead and
Motorhead,
Judas Priest.
Of course.
Has there been any bands that you've come across recently that have been sort of influenced with?
Wait, say it again?
Have you been sort of influenced with bands recently that kind of give you inspiration?
Well, yeah, I mean,
now, like some of the new bands. Are you kind of going like, oh man, that band is like, wow. I like the sound, and this is, you know.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of younger bands out there that are really impressive, man. Like, actually, just now we were out with the Casualties and this band Havoc, we're good friends, and we've done like 3 tours with them now at this point. And they're really good kids, man. They're doing they're fucking incredible players, and they're totally fucking ripping it up, you know. So, and, you know, if you look, like as we go along, and I look back at like bands I've toured with, and I watched them evolve, and they were younger, like the Black Dahlia Murder, Skeleton Witch, you know, bands like that. It's awesome to see like a newer generation, or at least a band that steps in at a later range, and they're kind of evolving the scene and keeping the whole idea going and everything. I think it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who knows how long I'll be doing this until, you know, and that's for any musician in extreme music, because everything's so questionable. But it's like a good feeling when you see bands like that and they're keeping like the legacy moving forward.
Yeah, they give you inspiration.
Yeah, they definitely do. And especially when you get a little older and you see these young kids, you're like, I gotta keep up.
Yeah.
I've got to be on my fucking top notch to stay in pace with all of this.
You're kind of competing with them to go on stage, and you know, like nowadays, a lot of the kids in the crowd are giving their all, and they're appreciating what's in front of them.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's always been a thing of mine too. Is like when we in a live setting to put 110%, if not more. You know, and I mean that's what people are coming out to see. You know, they're coming out to have a good time, see the band fucking dishing it out, and that's like a big part of it.
Yeah. So what's basically up for, next for you guys?
Next,
tour.
Well, we do this thing for 5 weeks, and we get home, and then we go do a show in Mexico City with Sodom, which is awesome.
Very
so
nice.
basically now we'll have like, we played with Emperor, we played with Venom, we played with Celtic Frost, and now we get to play with Sodom. I guess all we need at this point is Slayer, you know, and it'll kind of round out our...
It's on the checklist.
Yeah, our bucket list per se, you know.
Yeah.
And we do that, and then in the beginning of June we're going to Puerto Rico.
Oh, nice.
And then it's after that it's just kind of open. Things kind of just, the thing playing in a band is some things aren't always set, and then things just fall into place, and then all of a sudden you have this full schedule.
So basically back to writing, maybe after the tour?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a bunch of rough songs kind of constructed right now, and we're just gonna hit it back again and start getting on that. We're hoping to probably record maybe by the end of the year, if not early next year.
Are you looking at Eric Ruttan to come back?
Probably so.
Yeah.
You know, we have a good relationship with him, and the way we all work together, and it's like it's a comfortable environment, you know, and you know it's almost like he's like the secret member of Goatwhore, because he's like that. He's that angle, and he pushes you, and he keeps you fucking moving forward like you need to go.
Yeah. How's working with Metal Blade Records? The label?
Everything's going good, man. Yeah. Everything's moving along. Yeah, you know, I mean, in this day and age, it's a complicated thing. How things are going with labels and the whole industry, and downloading and stuff like that. You just kind of got to roll with it, you know. And they've been behind us pretty well, you know, for most of the part. But it's just different, you know, the way labels are is different than it was 10, 15 years ago. So I guess you got to kind of look at it in a different light when you go to things, you know. I mean, we do a lot of stuff internally, you know. We're like, I always make fun of it, but we're really DIY internally, and so we're like a metal band with like a punk kind of ethic in a sense, because we do everything so much.
Not as much the black metal, which you've been sort of labeled as black metal.
Yeah. I mean, we get, you know, put under. I mean, people have to do that. They put things in categories to kind of explain it. The best thing I can say to that is, you know, because sometimes a kid might not be into black metal, and then they hear, oh, well, Goatwhore's black metal, and they're kind of turned off. But at least, you know, give it a try, see what it's like. You never know what it's got to offer, because we're not the whole like modern idea of black metal. We're more rooted with the traditional idea, like the Venom, Bathory, Celtic Frost, that whole structure.
Absolutely. All right, man, I think that's it, and I'll have to let you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the thing, and I hope you enjoy the show tonight.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty good night here Wednesday night in Vancouver, man.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And the fans have come out and they're showing their appreciation, so.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Horns up.